Could this be the beginning of the end for Alexander Isak at Newcastle? With Liverpool's $110 million bid already rejected and our Swedish striker training alone, the Sela Cup exclusion tells us everything we need to know. What's up, Toon Army? This is NUFC Quick News, your source for raw black and white passion. We're diving deep into the Isak situation that has every Geordie on edge. Alexander Isak will not feature in Newcastle's Sela Cup clash against Atletico Madrid on Saturday, August 9th. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. This isn't just about a thigh injury anymore. Liverpool made their move with a $110 million plus add-ons bid that was swiftly rejected by Newcastle, who value our Swedish striker at $150 million. The rejection sent shockwaves through Anfield, but it also exposed just how desperate they are for our talisman. What do you make of Liverpool's audacious bid? Are they testing our resolve or genuinely trying to steal our star? Here's where it gets messy, Toon Army. Isak has informed Newcastle he wants to explore his options this transfer window, and that sent ripples through the entire club structure. Eddie Howe admitted that Isak's future may be out of his hands. A stunning confession from our usually composed manager. The timeline is crucial here. Isak was sent home by Eddie Howe ahead of the 4-0 preseason defeat to Celtic due to being affected by transfer speculation. Then he missed the entire Asia tour, officially due to a minor thigh injury, but we all know there's more to this story. Do you think Howe made the right call sending Isak home? Or should we have forced him to stay and fight for the shirt? While Newcastle were touring Asia, Isak was training alone at his former club, Real Sociedad's training facilities. Picture this, our $63 million record signing, the man who scored 23 Premier League goals last season, working out in Spain while his teammates were building chemistry thousands of miles away. Howe revealed that he only found out about Isak training in Spain through the media and not from the player himself. That's not just disrespectful, that's a relationship breakdown in real time. When your manager learns about your whereabouts from Sky Sports rather than a phone call, you know trust has evaporated. But here's the kicker that no one's talking about. Isak is frustrated that he was denied the opportunity when Liverpool made an informal approach, especially after Hugo Ekitike, who was essentially meant to be his replacement at Newcastle, moved to Liverpool instead. Can you imagine the frustration? Your potential replacement gets the move you wanted. How would you react in Isak's position? Let's talk numbers, because this is where Newcastle's stance becomes crystal clear. Newcastle made a $70 million offer to RB Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko as they attempt to line up a replacement for Isak should he leave. That's not panic buying, that's strategic planning. Isak feels he should be earning $250,000 to $300,000 per week and knows the other top strikers in the Premier League are earning that money. Currently on around $120,000 per week, there's a massive gap between his ambitions and our offer. The brutal truth? Isak's development has been almost faster than the club's. He's in a position where he is one of the best strikers in Europe, playing for a team that doesn't really have the opportunity to win the Premier League. That stings. But it's reality. Is money the real issue here, or is it about trophies and Champions League football? Where do your priorities lie as a footballer? The Sela Cup returns to St. James's Park on Saturday, 9th August 2025, with both men's and women's first teams taking on Spanish giants Atletico Madrid. This should be Isak's stage, a chance to impress against Diego Simeone's elite side before the Premier League kicks off. Instead, we are looking at a potential new-look attack. Anthony Elanga became Newcastle's first major summer signing in a $52 million deal from Nottingham Forest, and he'll likely get significant minutes in Isak's absence. Eddie Howe told NewcastleUnited.com, "Playing in the Sela Cup in front of our own supporters is something we really look forward to. Preseason is all about being ready, both domestically in the Premier League and for the Champions League. So playing a team of Atletico's caliber is an ideal test." How does it feel knowing our record signing might not be part of those Champions League preparations? Are we shooting ourselves in the foot? Here's what makes this situation even more complicated, Toon Army. Our leadership structure is in complete flux right now. CEO Darren Eales announced in September 2024 that he would be stepping down from his role due to health issues after being diagnosed with blood cancer. He's still in position, but only until a successor is appointed. Even more dramatically, our sporting director Paul Mitchell left the club by mutual consent at the end of June 2025 after less than a year in the job. Mitchell was supposed to be the man overseeing our transfer strategy, but now Eddie Howe is temporarily in charge of recruitment until we find a replacement. How can we expect stability in our transfer dealings when our entire executive structure is changing? Does this explain why we're struggling to keep our best players? Here's what's really happening behind closed doors. Newcastle have also missed out on a number of transfer targets to rivals, including Liam Delap, Joao Pedro, Hugo Ekitike, and James Trafford. We're not just dealing with an Isak situation, we're fighting to maintain our competitive edge across multiple fronts. The Sesko pursuit is telling. Marcel Schaefer, RB Leipzig's managing director for sport, confirmed that clubs have made approaches for Sesko, who is also wanted by Manchester United. We're in a three-way battle for a striker who might never arrive if Isak stays. Do you trust the board to get this right when our sporting director just left and our CEO is about to step down? Or are we watching our Champions League ambitions crumble in real time? The Eddie Howe factor, let's give credit where it's due. On 16th of March 2025, Newcastle defeated Liverpool in the final of the EFL Cup with goals from Dan Burn and Alexander Isak. This win meant Newcastle had ended their 56-year wait for a trophy, and Howe was granted the freedom of Newcastle, the city's highest honor, following the triumph. Isak scored in that final. He was part of our historic moment. This manager knows how to handle pressure and deliver when it matters. Even when he was hospitalized with pneumonia in April 2025, the team kept performing under his philosophy. Howe said, "I would love to believe all possibilities are still available to us. My wish is that he stays, but that's not in my full control." That's honesty from a manager who's built his reputation on straight talking. Does Howe deserve more credit for everything he's achieved? Or is losing Isak an unforgivable failure even after winning us our first trophy in 70 years? While the men's team deals with this Isak drama, let's not forget that Becky Langley and Newcastle United women will also face Atletico Madrid Femenino in the Sela Cup. Langley has been nothing short of phenomenal, guiding the team through back-to-back promotions and making them the first professional side in the English women's third tier. She just signed a new long-term contract and was named Barclays Women's Championship Manager of the Month for April. The women's team is showing the kind of stability and progress that the men's transfer dealings currently lack. Why can our women's team maintain continuity and success while our men's team is losing key players? What lessons can we learn from Becky Langley's approach? Alexander Isak reported to Newcastle's training ground and spent more than 3 hours inside receiving treatment for his thigh issue. The fact he's back suggests negotiations are still possible. But with the Sela Cup just days away, time is running out for a resolution that keeps everyone happy. With our current leadership structure in transition, no sporting director until we find Mitchell's replacement, and Ailes preparing to step down. The pressure is entirely on Eddie Howe to manage both the football and the politics. Liverpool face Newcastle in the Premier League on August 25. Imagine if Isak's wearing red by then. The narrative writes itself, but not in the way any of us want. What's your prediction? Does Isak play against Atletico? Or are we preparing for life without our Swedish superstar while our entire executive structure rebuilds itself? This isn't just about Alexander Isak anymore. This is about Newcastle United's ability to maintain stability during a period of unprecedented change. We've got a CEO stepping down due to health issues, a sporting director who just left after 11 months, and our best player wanting to explore his options. The Sela Cup will give us our first real glimpse of how serious this situation has become. Will we see a defiant Newcastle showing they can thrive despite the chaos? Or will Isak's absence expose just how dependent we've become on individual brilliance rather than institutional strength? Are you confident Eddie Howe can handle both the football and executive responsibilities while we rebuild our leadership structure? Or is this the kind of instability that destroys Champions League ambitions? Smash that like button if you're backing Eddie Howe through this leadership crisis. And hit subscribe to never miss a tune update as this transfer saga unfolds. Until next time, stay proud, stay loud, and always keep the faith. Away the lads!